Well, this is us, Demigod Media. Welcome. Tell us what you think.
Hello, everyone. This is God Media, and welcome. So, today we'll be talking and thinking. Well, I already pre-thought some of them. So, I think I'll just be sharing my thoughts and then leaving the topic open to your thoughts too. And you can share them in the comment section, basically. And I always share this. You do not know who your thoughts might help, you know? Might just help someone. Every life is interconnected. We're all interconnected, one way or the other. Um, so there's an issue that led up to this conversation, right? So if you meet a lot of bloomers, yes, a lot of bloomers, and I think the generation after that, they would always they have this notion of um, the more recent generations, Gen Z, millennials, you know, that's they don't want to get married or we don't want to get married. And maybe because I'm a millennial, I'm always like, well, it's understandable. It's very understandable why we don't want to and why the other generation also doesn't want to. So they're like, what's the alternative? So if you do not get married, what will happen? You just How do you give birth? Well, technically, you do not need marriage, legal marriage, and ceremonial marriage to give birth, right? What you need is bodily marriage, if you know what I mean. Yeah. So the point is, they're always around this. You guys just want to commit sexual immorality, and that's the word. So my argument is usually around what exactly is sexual immorality. So, what is sexual immorality? You, what do you think sexual immorality is? Share it with us in the comment section. And, well, I think I'll share mine. Just stay a little longer, or you can just go to our YouTube channel, Temigod Media, and watch the entire thing. So, firstly, um, the word fornication anchors around sexual immorality, right? And it covers a lot of things, including adultery. I think a lot of people think they are distinct. Adultery is actually under fornication. Adultery is a fornication, right? The word fornication means sexual immorality. Yeah, means sexual immorality generally. But because of the distinct ideology, some dictionaries think, or I say think, some dictionaries distinguish them, but some others will still tell you that adultery is a sexual immorality. So, which begs the question, or which steers my answer or my thoughts to the question, what is sexual immorality? With I mean, you know what sex is. So, what is morality? I say, what is morality? Is it what is generally acceptable? Is it what is generally agreed upon? Is it a, well, is it a law transcended from a deity? So, however you want to look at this, you'll find that sexual morality would have um, different scope for different people. Whether you want to look at it through the deity perspective or general agreement, you'd find that there will definitely be a different perspective to what people call immorality. right? Some religions permit multiple wives, some do not. That's on the part of deity now. Now, there are traditions that permit it. Well, there are cultures that actually do permit it. I think there are cultures that do not also permit, multiple partners. Let's use that word, but marriage of the sense. So it all boils down to something, right? And for me, it is consent, right? Consent or agreement, like we stated, earlier. Agreement. So if you look at marriage in its sense, generically, right? Hmm, marriage, it's all about agreement. Wherever you are going to do your marriage, traditionally, uh, in the religious sect or in court, everything boils down to your words of agreement, right? So whenever you break that agreement, that is where that's where I think sexual immorality comes in. So if there is an agreement to between two people concerning sexuality or sexual intercourse or everything around that, and it is broken, I think then you can say there's sexual immorality. But if everything you do is within the agreement, gaskiya ne, I don't think there's any immorality per se, so long as you agree. But I know this there might be a borderline to some things, right? Because hmm, well, there's also this principle of universalism. Yeah, I think by Immanuel Kant. Yes, I think Immanuel Kant. Yes, and it says for something to be established as law, per se, then you should cascade this to on a universal scale. I mean, if you want to do something and you want to define whether it is good or bad, right? Cascade it to a macroscopic level. Say you want to kill someone, or you want to, I don't know, probably shouldn't have said that. But say you want to, uh, okay, say you want to do something or steal something. You want to steal something, right? And you're wondering, is this good or bad? The thing is, cascade it. If everyone in the world does it, would the world be sustainable? Would the society be sustainable? Would it continue? Is it a character? Is it an action that is sustainable on the grand scale? Yeah. So if it is, I mean, come on, yeah. But if it isn't, so always ask yourself that question: if everyone does it, will humanity survive, or will there be sustained orderliness? Will orderliness be sustained, or will there be sustainability of existence in general? Exactly. So, again, going back, sexual immorality. And this principle of universalism, I think, is what will um, guide or give a boundary around your actions if you cascade it, right? I mean, if everyone has 10 men personally to themselves or 10 women personally to themselves, will we go round? I mean, we will be sufficient for each other. Think about it. But anyway, so the anchor is that um, sexual morality or immorality anchors around agreement, right? If there's an agreement between you and I that um, where it's an open whatever, it's the agreement. I can assure you, if all you do is within that agreement, I don't think, okay, let me use that word. I do not think that it is immorality unless you go out of that agreement, right? In um, in the church, you know, look at all the ceremonies of marriage. Everything boils down to a point, right? Where the pastor says, is this person takes you, and you repeat that same statement. You repeat that same statement, and the wife also repeats that same, or the lady also repeats that same statement. So basically, you guys make a verbal. The thing is, you don't. I hope you guys even go through these statements that you make, right, before the pastor or the imam or the religious leader tells you to repeat, says repeat after me, and see if it's an agreement you actually want to make. Yes, ensure it is an agreement that you actually agree to. Kagani. So just ensure it's an agreement you agree to. That's that part. So my point is, in all religious sects and even in traditional and in the courts, the customary court, is it? Yes, the marital, where they do the marriage stuff. It all boils down to you making that statement of agreement. You have to say between the two of you, you have to agree. And so the thing is, I believe that you can conduct a marriage on your by yourself, right? But of course, it won't hold legal ground. And let's just say legal ground. It won't hold legal ground. But aside that, I think you can, conduct a marriage yourself. If just the two of you. Say you even get witnesses. Your parents, you just get your both of your parents, maybe you exchange gifts, and then you say, oh, I take this person as my wife, and this person says, oh, I take this person as my husband. Boom, that's it, marriage. So, and then there's also agreement. Okay, um, let's keep this a one-time thing. I just want to have sex with you this time, and there's nothing after this. We have no commitment to each other. We have no this to this. If that is agreed upon by both parties, come on, come on, come on. I mean, basically, you have stated the terms of the marriage, right? The terms of the marriage have been stated. If you keep to it, I don't think there's immorality anywhere around that. So basically, that's it. That's what I think. That it all boils down to agreement. And then, the act itself is also some form of is the marriage. The act is the marriage, right? But the agreement states the terms of it. Yes, I already have an episode that I did on sex is marriage. So you can always look for that, you know. So the act is marriage. So what you say determines the morality around it, right? It determines the morality around it. It determines the boundaries around it, right? What you both agree upon. So, you know, basically, I was saying before you have sexual intercourse with anyone, ensure that there is refined agreement with the person, or clearly defined agreement. Actually, sorry, clearly defined agreement with the person. Say what you want, and let the person say what they want, and then you find a common ground of agreement. If possible, state the duration if possible. Because at the end of the day, if you go around all sectors that, you know, recognizes marriage, you find that it's all verbal agreement. It's just verbal agreement that defines the marriage. Yeah. So if you can do personal agreements between you two, stating, oh, this, and if, okay, sidebar, quick sidebar, this is me personally, from me to you. If you've ever had um, undefined sexual intercourse with someone and the breakup was also undefined, guy or, or babe, um, I think you need to clearly state, clearly leave each other, clearly break the agreement. Yeah, let there be a verbal break of agreement. I think you get it. Yeah. So back to what we're saying. The thing is, just have an agreement. Yes, clearly state an agreement. This is my borderline on sexual morality and immorality. Have an agreement, right? If it's going to be for 20 years, if it's going to be for 2 days, have an agreement, and you both should um, come to terms with it or agree with it, right? And saying, okay, so I can come to this person and say, um, uh, and I want to have sex with you for 1 day, and then it happens, and then I go to another person another day. Well, it happens in marriages too. You divorce, right? You divorce and you get another spouse and another sexual partner, and it keeps going on. So basically, it's all on agreement and disagreement. So you need to clearly state, or you need to clearly come to an agreement on what you want sexually with each other. And when the terms are broken, clearly state that this is broken, whatever is between us is ended, and the other person should ensure, or I don't know if one person is enough, but I think one person might do. But if it takes two to marry, I don't know, it might just take two to break it. Unless you are thinking of can two work together unless they be agreed. I don't know. Basically, that's the point, Sha. That's it for this one. It all boils down to agreement. Once you agree, I think you are fine. Once you disagree, yeah, don't bother, right? Don't bother and don't try to hide things. I think this is where the borderline of immorality is. You try to keep things, hidden things in the contract, right? Unspoken or unwritten or unrevealed contract. Just, I mean, there are people who would, if it's just for 1 week or it's just, there are people who would. If you do not want something serious, there are people who would. Just have an agreement. Have an agreement. Borderline. Borderline. I think you might have a different perspective and definitely you are licensed to it. So, share your thoughts. What do you think? Because why I hold this, right? Why I hold this is that if you go around all sects that recognize marriage, I think I've said this before, it's all the same principle, right? Verbal agreements. If it doesn't work out, verbal disagreement, and you guys go your way, and no one, and you get another spouse, and no one thinks there's sexual immorality involved. So you can see, in the grand scheme of things, it's all just agreement. It is all just about agreement. So morality, immorality, my definition is personal agreement and on the maybe a little bit of social agreement. Social agreement is more of this guy did this. Why don't you do it this way? It might work, and then it becomes an everybody thing, and everyone thinks that's the only way to do things. But you can agree, just agree. So this is what I think, guys. Enjoy yourself. Cheers, and see you on another episode. Remember, this is Demigod Media. I bring to you those thoughts. I know some some people are probably saying, this guy is probably looping, right? Maybe I am looping, maybe I'm bumpy. I mean, just enjoy. Cheers, guys.